Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. I'm told it's World Philosophy Day, Tony. What's your life philosophy?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Live, laugh, loathe. Loathe. Emphasis on the loathe.
That's kind of ruthless.
Yes, I would have to say that.
Yeah, I got one rule.
No.
I got one rule. Just be home from the club by 3 a.m. That's it.
That's a good rule.
That's all I got.
Is that what you told your son?
Yeah.
One rule in life, Matty?
Yeah.
One rule, be home by 3?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Didn't
Welcome
go
to
over
PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, is Joe Burrow back? Should the Mavs keep Anthony Davis? And Booger McFarland joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with more swirl around the Philadelphia Eagles. Today, it's not wide receiver A.J. Brown specifically. Today, it's quarterback Jalen Hurts. There was a report on local Philadelphia TV that, quote, a lot of people in that organization are frustrated with the quarterback situation, unquote. The Athletic further reported that Hurts was being criticized for, quote, not throwing into tight windows, unquote. Hurts responded by saying, quote, I'm not surprised by anything. This is kind of the nature of the position, unquote. Wilbon, what do you make of the reports of the Eagles' frustration with Jalen Hurts?
You know how your world philosophy, your life philosophy includes the word loathsome? I find any criticism of Hurts right now to be loathsome. Any criticism. Because last I checked, he's got a touchdown to turnover ratio of 16 to 1. Let me say it again. 16 to 1. His team's record is 8-2, which is the best in his conference. He last was seen standing on a platform holding the Vince Lombardi trophy. So, to me, Tony, that's the bar. And if you have another bar that is dictated or you're led there by some stupid statistical fanaticism, I find you loathsome. I'm tired of Philly. I'm tired of Eagles fans, or at least those who criticize Jalen Hurts. I'm sick of them. Shut your mouths. Have some reasonable bar. Oh, wait, winning. That's all this kid does. They don't even deserve him. I wish he could just walk the hell out on the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm going to probably be a little more down the middle than you are because I don't want everybody to shut up and I don't want to call everybody stupid, not everybody. But this is indeed a head scratcher to me. Mike, his record as a starting quarterback in Philadelphia is, 54-22. In the last 2 seasons, it's 20-5. And as you mentioned, one of those 20 is a Super Bowl. Look, there are a lot of quarterbacks who maybe would have more wins with Philadelphia than he has, maybe would fit it into tight windows. Hello, A.J. Brown. But as you say, it's 16 to 1 touchdowns, interceptions this year. And let's look at really good quarterbacks. Let's look at Jordan Love and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. They don't have wins like this guy.
No, they don't.
This guy wins big games. He manages big games. I'm going to give you 2 names that you'll appreciate, and everybody else will say, who are they? Bart Starr and Bob Greasy, and they didn't fit it into tight windows either, and all they did was win. So, I mean, enough of this soap opera every day. Appreciate the fact that he seems like a great leader.
Please.
Yeah, go ahead.
We play to win the game. Do we not do that? No, we play to have tight windows thrown into. People are stupid.
He wins.
Increasingly stupid. Let's move to a quarterback conundrum for the Bengals. Joe Burrow is back to being a full participant in practice for the first time since suffering that turf toe injury more than 2 months ago. Meanwhile, current starter Joe Flacco has put up some pretty big numbers, but is battling a sprained shoulder. So, Tony, should the 3-7 Bengals risk playing Burrow against the Patriots Sunday or stick with old man Joe?
Okay, so the problem with the Bengals is not their quarterback. It's not their offense. Joe Flacco has played 5 games. They've scored 148 points. That should be enough to win all 5 games. He has 12 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions, and the team is 1-4 in the time he's played. And that's because the defense stinks. It's not about the quarterback. Let me get to the issue of the risk with Joe Burrow. I don't really understand what that means, the risk. If he's 100% healthy, you put him in the game.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is still a good quarterback. Joe Burrow is substantially better. As you said, they are 3-7. They're not going to make the wild card. They have no chance at that. They have to win the division. They're 2-1 in the division. They have 2 games with Baltimore. They have 1 with Cleveland. Put this guy in and see what he can do. They also have a game with Miami and a game with Arizona that are winnable. Give him the ball, right?
They pay him $55 million a year on average. This is not hard. This is not a dilemma. If Joe Flacco was being paid $55 million a year, then you'd have a dilemma. You don't have a dilemma. Joe Burrow is your franchise quarterback. You've gone to great. He talked you into paying his starting 2 receivers about $150 million, it seems, apiece. So put him in
One
there.
One of whom is out
leave
for
him in
spitting
there.
for a game. He's out.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, I know.
And still got one of them, and he's got an offense that's supposed to light it up.
Mike,
play Joe Burrow.
It might interest you to know that Joe Burrow has the highest completion percentage in the history of the NFL. 68.5.
Put him in the game.
If I were the Bengals and he was healthy, I'm putting him in the game. I'm not thinking twice about it. Let's move to the NBA and everybody's favorite soap opera team there, not the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Mavericks. They lost again last night. Their record is 4-12. That's 3rd from the bottom in the West. Now we have former majority owner and apparently current advisor Mark Cuban telling The Athletic in an email that Anthony Davis won't be traded, despite all the recent stories suggesting the Mavericks have been trying to trade him. Wilbon, is Cuban making the right call here?
I don't know whether he's making the call. I wouldn't trade Anthony Davis if I'm the Mavericks, not given what I've got and given what I gave up, hello, Luka Doncic, to get Anthony Davis. And then my team, the Bulls, are a team that is regularly rumored to be in the Anthony Davis sweepstakes. I would not allow for any Anthony Davis sweepstakes. Let me just mention why, Tony. The Dallas Mavericks have what seems to be all the elements you would need to be a serious contender right now if they get Kyrie back healthy relatively soon. You got Lively and P.J. Washington. I mentioned Anthony Davis. The overall number 1 pick, Cooper Flack. You got D'Angelo Russell, who's a stand-in until Kyrie gets back. You got Klay Thompson, who I know is not doing Klay Thompson things, but I'm not ready to give up on. You got Daniel Gafford, more size and defense, inside rim protection. The Mavericks have all the elements. I know they have to have Anthony Davis out there. I know that doesn't happen nearly enough. But trade him for what? Draft assets. If you're bad enough this year, you're going to pick in the lottery. Keep Anthony Davis. Keep him.
I could not disagree with you more. The depth of destruction to that franchise that was done by Nico Harrison is almost incalculable. They went from less than 2 years from an NBA finalist to a laughingstock because he traded Luka Doncic, who, by the way, is going to be the MVP this year, who is averaging at the moment 34.6 points per game and who has already gone over 40 points 4 different times. The Anthony Davis thing, to me, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't actually play. They call him street clothes. He is not available. When he is available, he's still going to be 32 years old and beginning the process of aging out. I actually would consider trading him for future assets when I was ready for a rebuild. I don't know if Kyrie Irving's going to come back and be Kyrie Irving. I tend to doubt that. What is interesting to me is the relationship with Cuban and Nico Harrison. I'll just take 15 seconds here. With all the things I've read, it appears to be reported that they were once close. In fact, Cuban hired Nico Harrison, and then that dissolved completely. Nico Harrison tried to keep Cuban out of the building, and Cuban tried to fire him and did advantage Cuban. But I don't know what his relationship is with the owner. I'm a little surprised that he's out there out front. I'm a little surprised at that. Let's take a break. Coming up, what should we watch for in tonight's game between the Bills and the Texans? We will ask Booger McFarland.
Don't watch for Houston's starting quarterback. We'll also ask him about Southern Cal's chances of knocking off Oregon Saturday. All that has nothing to do with whether you should trade Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis is as damaged as you say, why the hell would I trade for him? Why?
Well, maybe they could get Luka Doncic for him. Oh, wait.
Pardon the Interruption is presented by Crown. You are watching Pardon the Interruption, presented by Crown Royal, part of Happy Hour.
This just in, Week 12 of the NFL season kicks off tonight, which makes it a perfect time to welcome back our great friend, ESPN NFL and college football analyst Booger McFarland, wearing a shirt from Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's start with the Thursday night game tonight. It's the Bills at the Texans. What will you be watching for in this game, Booger?
I'm going to be looking at that Houston Texans defense. Like, if you haven't watched this Texans defense, it could be the best defense in football. We know what they have from an edge rusher standpoint, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. But think about Derek Stingley on the back end. It's a defense that doesn't have a ton of household names outside of those three, but they are playing like the best defense in football. And so can Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills deal with this defense? Josh scored 6 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 3 throwing against Tampa, and they needed all of those. Like, too many times the Buffalo Bills are asking Josh Allen to be Superman, and he's the MVP, and I get it. And a lot of times he is Superman. But what's going to happen when he doesn't get the help? Can he still be Superman time and time again going against this Texans defense? I think that's going to be must-see TV. The reigning MVP against the best defense in football. I'm going to have my popcorn ready, Tony.
Well, speaking of Superman, Booger, let's talk about Myles Garrett, who has 4 sacks. 4 sacks in the loss to the Ravens and 15 in 10 games. And for a Browns team that is just awful. One, can I invoke the name Reggie White, or is that far too far away? And regardless, when you look at Myles Garrett as a guy who knows a little bit about defensive line play and rushing the passer, you see what?
Well, number one, I don't think it's too soon to start throwing around the name Reggie White when you look at the numbers he's putting up. He's got 15 sacks already this year. He's won a Defensive Player of the Year award. He's on pace to have 24 and a half sacks this season, which would break the record. So, no, you can definitely throw around that name. What's going on with Myles Garrett is this. He's 6'5", 275 pounds. He's in peak physical condition, and he continues to get better and better athletically. Now, you couple that with his craftsmanship is starting to come along more and more. So his technique is getting better. So when you marry the technique of one of the greatest athletes in our game with the physical athletic ability of someone like we've never seen, and you put those together, that's why he's getting better and better and better. And he's taking care of his body every offseason. You see some of the training that he does. It's unbelievable how gifted he is. But more importantly, the thing I respect the most, how hungry he is to go out and get better and get more knowledge. He's the best defensive player in our game, and I honestly don't think it's close, Mike.
Wow. And he seems sort of wasted away with the Cleveland Browns, who aren't going to be anywhere near a postseason. Let's move to college football for a second, Booger. The big game seems to be number 15, Southern Cal, at number 7, Oregon. I am not all that impressed with Southern Cal, but tell me if you sense upset. Do you feel that Southern Cal is up to the task of knocking Oregon off that perch in a playoff spot?
Yeah, to me, this is going to be a tough task. You know how it is. The people in USC, they're out there in LA. They get branded as SoCal. They're Hollywood. They don't want to get tough and physical. Well, finally, Lincoln Riley has a team that's built the right way. Up front, maybe the best offensive line since he's been there. He's got a really good quarterback, a dual threat guy in Jordan Maava. I love what they do between the combination of him and Mekhi Lemon, one of the best receivers in the country. And if they're going to upset Oregon, because I do believe it will be an upset, they're going to have to hit some big plays in the passing game. Defensively, I don't know if they'll slow the Ducks down, because I love what the Ducks are doing with Dante Moore and that high-powered offense. But Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Maava, that 1-2 connection from quarterback to receiver, I think they can make enough big plays. And I think Lincoln Riley feels good about this team. This is the best team that he's had since he's been there. At least that's what he tells everybody. So it's going to be must-see TV between the Trojans and the Ducks.
All right, we will get you out of here on this. And I'm just going to say before I ask the question, Wilma doesn't care about the college football ranking show, and I watch it religiously. He's completely bagged it, and I am into it all the time. So the most recent one, was there anything about the most recent rankings that stands out to you other than the fact that LSU is not in it, and that's a jab at you and a joke? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, that you talk about a jab. I mean, try to hit me when I'm down. All of our fans are tracking planes around America. You just going to keep jugging old Boog. I hear you. The one thing that keeps kind of just digging at me, and it's because I saw the two teams play on the field. Notre Dame being ranked over Miami. And I get it. The resume is not complete. I understand there's still a couple of games left. But I watched Miami and Notre Dame play. I watched Miami beat Notre Dame. I don't care if it was back on August 31st or December. It doesn't matter to me. I watched the two teams play. And the fact that week after week, they continue to have Notre Dame ranked above Miami. And I get it. It's a resume, and the resume is not complete. At least that's what both committee chairs are going to tell us. But at some point, if we end this season and Notre Dame and Miami are battling for one last playoff spot, guys, and Notre Dame gets in, they're going to call you two because they know you're the only two guys that probably can calm Boog down because we talk every week, because I may blow a gasket. Because football should be decided on the field when you have teams that are equal. And if both of these teams went out, both will be 10-2. It should be decided. You should take the team that won the game on the field. I don't care about strength of record, strength of schedule. I don't care what your mascot is. It doesn't matter to me. I saw Miami beat Notre Dame. So that's the one thing, Tony, that week after week, while Wilbon is asleep, cuddled up in his robe, I'm on TV, you're watching me, I keep going back and forth with that, and I can't figure it out.
Boog, I'm with you.
No,
Tony's the one who's going to argue for Notre Dame, the University of Football in America. He's totally snowed.
We did this yesterday.
He thinks Notre Dame is a New York school. You can't trust him on Notre Dame. You can trust me.
This is ridiculous. This is fake news. Yesterday on this show, I told you that Miami has a case against Notre Dame, and they're not just ranked above. Notre Dame's just not ranked above them like one spot. It's 4 spots. It's 4 spots. Thank you, Booger.
Thanks, Boog. Appreciate you, dude.
Anytime, fellas. Have a good one.
Let's take one last break. Still to come. Wilbon's Bulls beat the Blazers on a buzzer beater. Is that a big deal?
Yeah, I was sleeping through it. Should UConn actually feel okay about last night's loss to Arizona? You know, ultimately, 99.9% of the time, you side with Notre Dame. I'm not making this up.
No, you're not. But did you listen to the show yesterday when I was 3 feet from you? And I said the team that has a complaint is Miami. I said that.
You were too close. I was looking in the basement for you. You were.
Pardon the Interruption is presented by Crown Royal. Please drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 44th birthday, Carlos Boozer. Boozer played on Duke's NCAA championship team in 2001, then played 13 seasons in the NBA with Cleveland, Utah, Chicago, and the Lakers, averaging 16.2 points and 9.5 rebounds a game. He was on the gold medal United States Olympic basketball team in Beijing in 2008, after playing on the bronze medal team 4 years earlier in Athens. Now Boozer gets a happy birthday because his 2 sons, Cameron and Caden, are freshman basketball players at Duke, following their father's footsteps, though they play for John Shire, and Carlos and Shire played for Mike Krzyzewski. Cameron Boozer is averaging 21.6 points and 10.4 rebounds. Caden Boozer averaging 7.4 points and 3.8 rebounds for the Blue Devils.
You're going to hear Cameron's name when it comes to people talking about who's going to be chosen number 1 overall. And by the way, Carlos Boozer was on a team with Derrick Rose. Without that injury, that awful injury to Derrick Rose, might have changed, altered modern NBA history a little bit because they were damn good.
Happy anniversary, LaDainian Tomlinson. On this day 26 years ago, while playing at TCU, Tomlinson rushed for a then D1 record 406 yards on 43 carries, not to mention 6 touchdowns in a win over UTEP. Amazingly, that record has now been broken 3 times and belongs to Samaj P. Ryan, who ran for 427 yards for Oklahoma against Kansas in 2014. Tomlinson went on to a Hall of Fame career as a running back for the Chargers and won the NFL MVP award in 2006. He retired after the 2011 season, went directly into broadcasting, spending a decade with the NFL Network. Now Tomlinson is helping coach Oak Ridge High School in Texas. He said he didn't miss playing, but missed the camaraderie and relationships of football.
Tony, after all of those great backs of the 60s, 70s, 80s, even into the 90s, all those great backs, when you leave them, that bunch, Tomlinson and Marshall Faulk are my 2 favorites who I think could have played at any time in any era, handling it 35 times a game, catching it out of the backfield. Those 2 guys seem to stand out to me the last 25 years.
Happy trails to last night's game for number 3 UConn. The Huskies fell by 4 at home to 4th-ranked Arizona. The Wildcats dominated the Huskies on the glass 43-23, though UConn was playing without 2 starters, including starting senior center Taris Reed Jr., who's been averaging 20 and 9. Arizona is now 5-0 with wins over 2 opponents ranked in the top 3. First Florida, now UConn. And UConn coach Danny Hurley called Arizona, quote, legit contenders like we are.
He also said his team got punked. So I'm not understanding that. But it's early. It's early. Let's just take a chill pill for now.
Quick to the big finish.
Let's
Quick.
do it.
Thunder beat the Kings. They're now 15-1. Are you impressed?
Yes, but they've got the easiest schedule so far in the NBA. So let's, chill there too. Wizards have lost 12 straight. Defend your squad.
They're not trying to win. They're cheating the public. Nikola Vukovic of the Bulls hit a buzzer-beating 3 to beat the Blazers. Big deal?
Vooch is his second buzzer-beater winner of the season so far. Nice win out in Portland by my Bulls. Alex Ovechkin scored. Caps beat the Oilers 7-4. Your thoughts?
He's worth the ticket. He's over 900 goals. He's a wow. Last one, top 4 NHL scorers, Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini, Connor Bedard, all playing tonight. You excited?
Connor Bedard in action, Tony, against the Kraken.
No,
I'm excited.
We're out of time. Try and do better the next time. Cindy Wenslow, shout out.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads.
PTI. For our PTI bonus topic.
All right, Wilbon, which is the most intriguing Week 12 game?
Tony, I'll give you the nominees. And it starts with, Steelers at Soldier Field, Patriots at Bengals, Joe Burrow probably going to be back, Vikings at Packers, Eagles at Cowboys. Pretty darn good, even though I'm not like others at this network buying the Cowboys is somehow 1991 Cowboys. And Bucks at Rams. But there's one game, Colts at Chiefs. That's the game. That's got all the juice because the Chiefs, in their predicament at 5-5, have to win that game or they can get ready to say bye-bye to the playoffs, whether it's a division win or a wild card spot. So that's the game, Tony. Colts, Chiefs, something we would not have identified to start the season.
Absolutely not, because nobody thought the Colts would be in this position. And also nobody thought the Chiefs would be in this position, being 5-5 at this point in the season. I'm not going to disagree with that. It is intriguing to me that the Steelers and the Bears are both in first place. I don't think anybody would have had that this late in the season. They'd be playing a first-place game. Obviously, we are all intrigued by Joe Burrow if he goes out there to play. What has he got? Is he going to get hurt? Can he lead that team to the playoffs by winning the division? You're right about the Eagles-Cowboys. I just want to mention this one thing about Tampa Bay and the Rams. Here's Tampa Bay. Here are the last 7 games that Tampa Bay has on the schedule. Eagles, Seahawks, 49ers, Lions, one breather, the Saints, Patriots, surprisingly now 9-2, Bills, Rams. That's an unbelievably hard schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you supposed to get through that? How many games are you supposed to win? 2, 3 at the most?
Luckily,
that's
you've got 4 games against the Saints and Falcons. So I'm not throwing a pity party yet. You can win a weak division. You're right. That's a gauntlet. That's hard, but you got the soft landing in the NFC South. So that's it. We're done. Back to you.